now that we're ready to start solid coating, what I always like to do first is get the corners done on a section of wall that I'm going to be doing. So in order to do the corners, I use, in this case, this little knife to get in this corner with. Then the 6-inch knife to do this section of corner with. So I do them at the same time, put the mud on and pull it back off. So I got it all straight down, so all I gotta do is start putting the mud on now. Put that side of the mud on. Put this side of the mud on. And just wipe one side down. Any edges you find, just scrape it off. Do the other side. Now if you have a little bit of mud build up from when you do one side, when you wipe one side down, just go wipe the other side down again. And if you have a little bit, if you have to put a second coat on, you can get it out then. If not, then you can just sand it out. And I'll show you how to sand it, but that is how I do the corners first. Then after I get the corner done, I go to the middle of the wall with my 12-inch knife. So I'll put the mud on with a 12-inch knife, I just put it on, put it around the light switch. And then scrape it back off. Now, all those lines that were there are now filled in. The deepest places are darker mud, and in the other light places I just scrape the mud straight off. So just make sure that you got any mud, any big edges wiped down, just drop over to the next side, or to where you stopped at, and start again. Put it on and scrape it. Now I would recommend, if you buy mud, when you buy mud in a bucket that's already mixed up, it's pre-mixed mud, I like to thin it down a little bit with maybe a half a cup of water and then stir it up with a mud mixer. And if you don't have a mud mixer, and a lot of people don't, you can put mud in the water in the mud, and you can stir it up with your hands just by pushing your hand through the bucket, and yeah, your hand will have mud on it up to your elbow. But you wash it off real easy with water, and that is the cheapest way to mix it up if you don't have a paddle and a drill, because it takes a heavy-duty drill and heavy-duty paddle to mix it up with. So if you've already got the stuff, that's fine. If not, just do it by hand, and you just have to, just move your hand just like a paddle down the bucket, and just keep doing it until it's mixed up thoroughly, because the mud, some mud in the buckets you get, most of it is going to be really thick. And of course, for some reason manufacturers tell you not to wipe it down, or I'm sorry, not to thin it down, but there's no way you can use it out of the bucket most of the time, and I'd like to see them try to use it out of the bucket, because it's just about impossible. Especially, I've been doing it for years, never had a problem not thinning it down. It might shrink up a little bit more when it dries, and you have to put another, but you're going to put another coat most of the time anyway over stuff, so I wouldn't worry about that. And make it easier on yourself instead of trying to put mud on and not being able to wipe it off because it's so thick and it wears you out. So do all the wall, put the mud on, scraping it off. That's just solid coating. There's no skill really required, except for learning that when you start out, you'll have the mud on a knife course, you'll see it on the knife, and as you go down, the mud will squish out, and that'll allow you to make a longer trail with the knife. So that is really the only skill required to solid coat walls. That's the reason I say anybody can go in and redo wallpaper over wallpaper to get painted a lot cheaper than taking the wallpaper off. And most of the time when you take it off, 95% of the time, you're going to have to do some mudding over it anyway, because the wallpaper is going to peel off the sheetrock paper most of the time. And it's just too aggravating when you're going to have to do mudding anyway. So this is the absolute cheapest and quickest way to do it, and it looks the best. You'll never know there's wallpaper on the wall up under this. So this is the first coat of solid coating, and we'll put another coat on it over top of this when it dries. And I've already got a section of the wall done like that, so I'll go ahead and show you how to do the second final coat of solid coating.